Hey everybody, Bobby Fett here, and today I have another tasty treat. And this time, it's a special request review. That's right, you might have guessed it. It's the fresh White Castle versus the frozen White Castles. Alright, nice. I've already got everything prepared, so why don't we go ahead and get everything out onto a tray. Alright, nice. Nice. Alright, so right off the bat, we can see that we have 4 White Castles here, in addition to the all-time classic, Mountain Dew Zero. Not a Baja Blast this time, just a zero sugar. Regular Mountain Dew. And that's something you can't get at White Castle. They only have Coke products. And here we have the so-called fresh White Castles, because they've been in my fridge for 2 days, along with the chicken rings. It's gotta be said, so they're not as fresh as they could be. And we have here the frozen White Castles, which were reheated from a frozen state. They were basically thawed from carbonite, which actually, that's how we freeze our stuff around here. And so I had a viewer who deeply wanted this review done. So why don't we, well, let's go ahead and start off by helping ourselves to a reheated chicken ring. And it's already pretty cold at this point, but that's okay. I like them all the same. They were cooked at some point, so I guess it's safe. Oh, my jaw. Oh, well, that was a tasty chicken ring. I sure am glad. I got my spice, because eating at the moment causes me a lot of pain. Oh. But taking my spice, not a whole lot of pain at all. Alright, let's take a hit of that spice. I can feel the spice working its magic already. Let's go open my Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Not much of a hiss. Let's take a sip of our Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Oh, refreshing as ever. Alright, let's take one of these frozen White Castles out. Now, these White Castles over here, they are jalapeno cheese. This is regular American cheese. It won't make much of a difference to affect the score, but I thought everybody should know. They do make frozen White Castle sliders with jalapeno cheese, but I was not able to find them this time. Alright, let's take a bite of the frozen White Castle slider and see how it tastes. It's going to be pretty good, even though I've disparaged these quite a bit. They're still tasty, they just cannot hold a candle to the real thing. Let's take a bite. They're very, very, very soft. It was so easy to bite through. Didn't hurt my jaw at all. You can definitely taste the onion there, because these have onion too. The first bite didn't hurt my jaw so much, but as I chew more with my implanted molars, it causes me a great deal of pain. But for a direct side-by-side comparison, let's take a bite out of the reheated, actual, real White Castle. And right away, you can taste the bite of that spicy jalapeno cheese. And it's not quite so soft as the frozen White Castle is. And that's a good thing. They're kind of mushy. The frozen ones are when reheated. They'd probably taste better if they were reheated, not in a microwave. But, you know, if I spend too much time in our kitchen area, my uncle gets upset and he locks me in my room. So I gotta use the microwave for almost all my cooking. That is a tasty treat. Wow. That is a great slider. Let's wash it down with a Mountain Dew Zero. I can see Padme from her domicile, and she wants my White Castle. Quite Padme. But I've had to tell her, no, Padme, this is for adult bounty hunters. I don't know if she's an adult, whatever she is. Yeah, she's not happy. Oh, an in the spirit of fairness, I should take a bite from the frozen White Castle. It is good, but you can tell it is the frozen one. I could have turned my mask's visor off, and I would have known which one was frozen. Oh, my jaw. Oh, but it's nothing. A little bit of spice won't fix. Oh, let's take a load of that spice. And I'm thinking I could use it for another chicken ring. Oh, I ate it all. It was a nice item. Gotta say, spice plus White Castle is one of the galaxy's greatest combinations. Alright, let's have another chicken ring. Actually, I should probably just go ahead and finish these chicken rings, because there's a few of them left. They're getting cold rapidly, and the burgers will still stay warm for quite a bit longer. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my chicken rings. And there's nothing like a sip of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar to make your White Castle meal all that much better. Oh, my uncle's still out. I don't know what's taking him so long. I haven't heard from him in a couple of days. Maybe he got, I don't know, blasted by his bounty. He said he was going to go take in a bounty, but who knows? Just goes to show you that I body Fett and the best Fett out there. Let's keep chewing this chicken ring. It's actually very difficult to chew. I think there might be something seriously wrong with my jaw. But that's okay, because I can still eat these chicken rings, albeit in a great deal of pain. I finished off my chicken rings, and I gotta say, those do not heat up nearly as well as the burgers do, the sliders. So if you're going to White Castle with the expectation of having a lot of leftovers, eat your chicken rings while they're fresh. Alright, let's take another bite of this slider. Now, I love spicy food, but one of the biggest problems when you're eating it is the thirst factor. And when that comes into play, oftentimes a single 0-calorie beverage will not be enough to quench a bounty hunter's thirst. And this is one of those times where I should have brought 2 0-calorie beverages, possibly of different varieties. Alright, let's take a sip. Oh, it's so refreshing. Now let's go ahead and finish off the first frozen White Castle, because it's been sitting there lonely for quite a while. Let's just go ahead and shove it into our gullet. And while that frozen White Castle was a treat, I am much more excited to finish off the real deal. Let's go ahead and finish it off. And for those of you who are curious about the number of calories in 2 frozen White Castle cheese sliders, it's 340. Now that doesn't mean a thing to me unless it's a 0, but maybe it will to one of you out there. Let's go ahead and start on the second frozen White Castle. Alright. It's always a delight to treat yourself to White Castle. Alright, nice. Anyways, I don't much care what my uncle calls the ship nowadays. It's not the fire spray. It's the slave one. And it always has been. That's all. And I gotta say, it's taking me quite a bit longer than I had suspected to eat these 4 sliders and 6 chicken rings. But considering the ghastly pain I am experiencing in my jaw when I chew and sometimes talk, it's understandable. Let's go ahead and take another bite of a frozen White Castle. Alright. And these days, I really can't eat quite as much at a single time, which I guess is a good thing, because a bounty hunter has to stay slim, like me. Okay, let's take another bite of the fresh jalapeno White Castle. Alright. That's a great. Another bite. At this point, I'm feeling kind of sick in my stomach. But I must finish the sliders. Alright, nice. But what am I doing? I need another sip. At this point in the meal, I am not having a good time. I feel very sick. But you can't just throw away White Castles. You gotta eat them. I think my uncle's gotten back, which means he's alive. Probably. I guess that's good. Oh, but no, he's gonna see that I was playing in the carbonite. I should have cleaned that up. Oh well, he's mad enough at me, as usual. I mean, he's already always mad at me. You know what I mean. There's no pleasing my uncle. He's a tough man to please. My great uncle, Yango, he was nothing like my Uncle Bubba. Yango was cool, and he was calm and collected at all times. He knew the right tool for every job. He was the best bounty hunter. Simply the best. And I miss him every day. And I miss him when I would miss him if I looked in the mirror. But I can't see my face. Nor my uncle's or any other of the per people to the lines, because we've all taken an oath never to reveal our faces. That is the truth. Now, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that my uncle has been seen on Tatooine without his helmet. And I gotta say, those are just rumors. My uncle would never break the per people DeLorean code and remove his helmet, especially in the presence of others. So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that want to imitate and be my uncle. So, it's gotta be an imitation bubble. Because my uncle, he's usually pretty close to the ship, and he doesn't like going back to Tatooine. That's what he told me. Doesn't like going back to Tatooine. I can't blame him. Last time I was at Tatooine to sand it, it got places in my suit that it's difficult to get out of. And it's not pleasant. It's coarse. It's grating, especially when it's between two portions of your body that are chafing together. It's no good. I prefer a sand-free environment where there's no sand. None. Zero sand. And that's the way my uncle likes it too. I guess, in that regard, I'm a lot like my uncle. I guess we're not too much different, except our skills in bringing in bounties. He used to be pretty good, but lately he's been slacking off. And I've been the real breadwinner around this ship. I mean, I wasn't when I was in the Spice Mines of Castle. But, I was working the bounties in spirit. And it looks like we've got just one bite left of our White Castle that I have to eat. And I will, here in one moment. When I finish chewing the portion that is in my mouth. Now, some people might say, it's poor manners to speak with your mouth open. But really, since I have my helmet on, nobody can see me chewing with my mouth open. So, it's like I'm really not chewing with my mouth open. Anyways, it's taken me a while to chew this. I don't know why I'm still recording me chewing this. I guess I just had a lot to say about sand. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish off the last piece of reheated fresh White Castle. And I won't. No, I'll go chew it on my own time. And I'll be back to the Fett final and the comparison of these two tasty treats. And it was It seemed, despite my earlier moaning about requiring 2 zero-calorie beverages, it would seem that I have just about enough zero-calorie Mountain Dew left to quench my thirst on this meal. Oh, even more than 2 sips. Whew. I gotta say, I'm glad to be done with that meal because I feel quite full. And the winner between the fresh White Castles, albeit reheated, versus the frozen, microwaved White Castles, it was never a contest. The real White Castles win every time. But that's not to say the frozen White Castles are not good, because they are. But they do not hold a candle to the real deal. And if you've only ever had the frozen White Castles and you didn't like them, you should try an actual White Castle if you don't mind spending about the next 3 days in your refresher. So, with that all done, I'm gonna go find my spice nebulizer and shut the vac seals to my suit and just flood the suit environment with some spice vapor. And both of these get the famous Bobby 2 thumbs up, and it looks like I really need to trim my nails. I've been a bit of a slob, would you look at that? But, you know, it's more intimidating to the bounties when you got claws, basically. Anyways, this is probably my longest video yet. Thank you all for watching the review, the comparison review of my reheated White Castles versus the frozen variety. And I will be back next time for another episode of Bobby Fett's Tasty Treats. Who knows what it will be, but I'm sure it'll be good. And thank you all for joining me on another episode of Bobby Fett's Tasty Treats. I said that already, didn't I? Anyways, see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Bobby Fett out.